Here's why you communicate worse when the pressure is high. If you're watching this channel for the first time, my name is Nadine Zainoun. I'm a master certified coach who is really passionate about spreading emotional intelligence and building trust. Alex, an executive I coach, he's in the AI business and technology. He's someone who's very empathetic. He listens very well, and he communicates even better. And that's why he creates a very safe space for people around him. His team trusts him, they feel valued, and they feel heard. And they're very much engaged in what they do. Then suddenly, the business starts growing, and the demands start increasing. So Alex is in a high-pressure situation. Also, the deadlines become very tight, and the expectations become so high. And suddenly, Alex shifts. He starts giving orders. He stops listening fully. Even his patience is reduced. He starts putting pressure on people, becomes too directive, and even to a certain extent, he becomes judgmental. And the team feels this. They feel the pressure on them. They feel like their freedom has been taken away and that their voice is not valued anymore. So they start to shut down and they stop collaborating. They stop pitching in ideas and they are disengaged. So at a time where innovation is so critical for the company, we find that people are not giving their best. Why did this happen? Why did Alex shift in the way he was behaving? Is it because he's going through a personality crisis or he's not a good person? Of course not. Simply, everything can be explained through our neurochemistry, through the chemicals in our brain. You see, in high pressure situations, our brain perceives this as a threat. Why a threat? Because we're worried and afraid that we won't get the results, so it's a threat to our performance. We're worried about our image, so it's a threat to our image and our credibility and everything that we have built all through the years. So this threat or fear enhances the production of cortisol in our body. And what cortisol does is it activates the survival mode in our brain. And survival mode is not connection. It shuts down connection and it tries to go to a safe place where control thrives. So it goes into control mode because control seems safe in that situation. So what happens to us? We start directing people. We start being pushy. We push our ideas on them very fast. We become less patient. Why? Because time and going fast and moving fast is essential for us in survival. So we start being less patient. Listening becomes like a risk. Including people in decisions becomes risky because it takes too much time and we want to move fast. So we drop all of this and we get out of curiosity and we start pushing our ideas, our ways, our decisions on everyone around us. And how is that taken? People feel the heat, they feel the pressure, and they are threatened too. So this also activates their survival brain. It enhances their cortisol, and they become protective too. So if we look at the system now, it's a system of survival mode. Leader is in survival mode, and also team is in survival mode. And imagine what happens to collaboration and innovation in such a situation. Of course, it goes down. So what do we do here? How can we override this natural response that is in our brain? Simply, first of all, we need to know and understand that this is not a communication problem. It's true that the communication was hindered because the conversation was closed by us being pushy and not listening, so we're not open to the conversation. However, it's not an issue of communication. And I see a lot of executives coming to me and telling me, Nadine, we want to work on our communication. But it's not the communication. What actually made Alex communicate in this way is his fear and his emotional state. So if we want to enhance the communication, we need to address that emotional state and shift it. How do we do that? Simply by following the 3 A's. One is accepting and acknowledging that we are in fear, that we are worried, that we are under a lot of pressure, and this is it seems like a threat to us. So acknowledging our fear and accepting it without judging ourselves about who we are when we are in fear, that is key. Research shows that if we're able to acknowledge the situation, accept it, and just say that I am in fear now, everything shifts. The part of the brain that is responsible for survival is downregulated, so it becomes less active. And our prefrontal cortex, which is the area responsible for us being at our best, it gets activated. So just by naming that feeling. So number 1, acknowledge and accept that feeling and name it. Number 2, align yourself and anchor yourself in your values. What does that mean? Anchor yourself in your values. You see, as we said, our brain goes to control because it sounds safe and it looks like it's something that is stable in that situation. Why? Because in times of pressure, everything seems uncertain, and uncertainty creates fear. So the only thing that remains certain always and never changes is our values. So if we anchor ourselves in our values, we create some safety for our brain. How do we do that? Simply by asking ourselves 2 questions. Who do I want to be in this situation? And how do I want to be in this situation? And once I answer these 2 questions, I get more clarity and my brain feels safe. And the last A is get into action. So take that first step that is aligned with who you want to be and how you want to be, and that supports the situation. And once you get into that action, then the next steps will flow and flow. Why? Because this action is different. It's not just an action that is driven by fear. It is an action that is driven by values and by understanding the whole situation. So this is a solid action that will create a lot of rush of confidence. So acknowledge or accept, align yourself or anchor yourself in your values, and last but not least, take action. You see, fear is always going to be around, and threats are always going to be there. But it's not about the threat or the fear, it's how we're responding to it. So I will leave you with this last reflection. Who do you become when the pressure is high? And how much is that really the person you truly want to be?